The first shots were fired in the skies over Earth. For centuries, humanity had looked to the stars with hope and curiosity, imagining what lay beyond the reach of their primitive technology. Most of their efforts had been focused on reaching distant planets, seeking new resources, or sending probes out into the great unknown. They never imagined they would be the target of an alien invasion. The Valkyrie, a technologically advanced race, had been watching humanity from afar for centuries, observing their rapid development from primitive humans into a spacefaring species. They had studied humanity's progress, its wars, its triumphs, and its failures. They viewed Earth as an insignificant speck in the vast universe, a planet full of primitive creatures with no hope of ever being a threat to their empire. In the eyes of the Valkyrie, humans were just another species to be conquered. When the Valkyrie's fleet arrived, it was with no warning. Earth's global defense systems had been engaged, but they were woefully unprepared for what was coming. Massive warships, each the size of a city, descended from the sky, their weapons instantly reducing Earth's largest cities to rubble. The Valkyrie's surprise attack was brutal and efficient. New York, Tokyo, Paris, London, and dozens of other cities were obliterated in mere hours. Humanity fought back, but their weapons were no match for the overwhelming alien firepower. Military leaders scrambled to mount a defense, but there was little hope. The Valkyrie were simply too strong. The attacks came not only from orbit, but also from the ground. The Valkyrie's elite soldiers, massive humanoid beings with armored exoskeletons and advanced weaponry, landed in the world's key locations, quickly seizing control of critical infrastructure. It was clear the Valkyrie intended to crush humanity once and for all. Resistance forming. But humanity had one thing the Valkyrie couldn't understand: an unyielding will to survive. It was this very trait that would become their greatest weapon. In the face of complete devastation, resistance groups began to form. The United Earth Forces, still reeling from the surprise assault, began to reorganize under the leadership of Commander Jessica Reyes. She had been at the front lines during the initial attack, and she understood better than anyone what was at stake. There was no room for hesitation. The human race had to fight back, and it had to do so quickly. Commander Reyes took charge of the Argo, the flagship of Earth's remaining fleet. She was a battle-hardened leader with a reputation for thinking outside the box. Her first order was simple: survive. Regroup. Find a way to strike back. While Reyes and the remaining military forces regrouped in Earth's orbital defense stations, Dr. Gabriel Holt, a scientist who had been studying alien technology for years, began working on a solution. Holt was a brilliant mind, but like most scientists, he had never expected to be part of a war. His knowledge of alien technology was vast, but the Valkyrie were unlike any species he had ever studied. Their tech was far beyond anything humanity had developed. However, Holt was determined. If there was one thing humanity excelled at, it was overcoming obstacles. Holt began reverse engineering Valkyrie technology, looking for weaknesses he could exploit. He knew it would be a long shot, but he believed that if humanity could understand the Valkyrie's technology, they might stand a chance. Meanwhile, on Earth, Private Eli Carter, a young soldier who had enlisted out of patriotism, found himself thrust into the heart of the war. Eli had never seen combat before the invasion, and like many other young recruits, he was terrified. But when he saw his fellow soldiers fall, when he witnessed the Valkyrie tearing through his friends and family, something inside him changed. Fear turned into rage, and rage turned into determination. Eli would not let Earth fall without a fight. The Valkyrie underestimate humanity. The Valkyrie, for all their technological superiority, failed to understand one key aspect of humanity: its adaptability. The Valkyrie had faced countless civilizations in their quest for galactic dominance, but they had never encountered a species that could learn and adapt as quickly as humans. What the Valkyrie saw as humanity's greatest weakness, its chaotic, unpredictable nature, was actually its greatest strength. Commander Reyes understood this better than anyone. The Valkyrie, with all their might and precision, were predictable. They relied on their overwhelming power and advanced technology, but they lacked the creativity that humans possessed. As humanity's military forces adapted, they began to mount resistance operations that caught the Valkyrie off guard. One of the first successful human counterattacks occurred in the ruins of what had been Chicago. The Valkyrie, convinced that the city was abandoned and ripe for occupation, sent in a platoon of soldiers to secure the area. They had not accounted for the underground resistance movements that had formed, nor did they expect humans to use their own technology against them. A group of resistance fighters using stolen Valkyrie weapons launched an ambush that destroyed a portion of the occupying force. It wasn't a decisive victory, but it was enough to send a message. Humanity would not go down without a fight. Meanwhile, Dr. Holt's work progressed. By studying the remains of Valkyrie soldiers, Holt was able to identify several weaknesses in their armor and weapon systems. Using this information, he developed a new class of weapons human-made, but heavily influenced by Valkyrie tech. These weapons, though primitive compared to what the Valkyrie were used to, were surprisingly effective. The artifact. As the war continued, Dr. Holt uncovered an ancient artifact deep within the ruins of a Valkyrie outpost on Mars. It was a relic from an even older civilization, a species that had been wiped out long before the Valkyrie had risen to power. The artifact, a small crystalline device, was unlike anything Holt had ever seen. It seemed to resonate with an energy that was both alien and familiar, a technology that didn't just rely on brute force, but on something more subtle. When Holt examined the artifact further, he discovered that it contained a map to a hidden power deep within the galaxy. This power, Holt theorized, could be the key to defeating the Valkyrie once and for all. The problem was, the artifact was located in a heavily fortified Valkyrie stronghold, and obtaining it would require a mission unlike any humanity had attempted before. The mission would be dangerous, and failure meant the end of the human race. The mission. Commander Reyes knew the risks of sending a team to retrieve the artifact, but she also knew that humanity's survival depended on it. She assembled a small, elite team of soldiers, including Private Eli Carter, to infiltrate the Valkyrie stronghold on a distant moon. It was a suicide mission, but it was their best shot. The team made their way through enemy lines using the chaos of the ongoing war to their advantage. They encountered several close calls, and along the way, several soldiers were killed. But they pushed forward, driven by the knowledge that the future of Earth depended on their success. As they reached the heart of the Valkyrie stronghold, they discovered that the artifact wasn't just a source of power, it was a key. It had the potential to unlock a massive weapon, one that could either save humanity or destroy it. The final battle. Armed with the knowledge they had gained from the artifact, humanity's forces launched a full-scale assault on the Valkyrie. The battle was brutal, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The Valkyrie, still confident in their superiority, didn't expect humanity to turn the tide so quickly. Using the artifact's power, Holt had developed a weapon that could disrupt the Valkyrie's technology, rendering their advanced weapons useless. It was a game-changer, and for the first time in the war, humanity was able to fight on equal footing. The final confrontation took place in the heart of the Valkyrie fleet. Commander Reyes led the charge, pushing through wave after wave of enemy forces. Eli Carter, now a seasoned soldier, fought with a fury that surprised even his comrades. The Valkyrie were forced to retreat, their once pristine fleet now in ruins. As the battle drew to a close, Exalthor, the Valkyrie leader, realized too late that humanity had done what no one had thought possible. They had defeated the Valkyrie. Aftermath. With the Valkyrie defeated, humanity emerged victorious. Earth had been ravaged, but the human spirit remained unbroken. As the remnants of the Valkyrie forces were pushed back, humanity began rebuilding. The artifact's power, now fully unlocked, allowed humanity to develop new technologies at an unprecedented rate. The Valkyrie learned a hard lesson that day. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated. It was a species defined by its resilience, its ability to adapt, and its refusal to ever give up. The galaxy would remember the day when humans showed the universe what they were truly capable of.